Alright, buckle up buttercups because the gaming world is getting spicy. You know, that kind of spicy where your wallet starts sweating and you wonder if ramen noodles will be your main course for the foreseeable future. Let's dive into this glorious mess, shall we? So, you thought gaming was just fun in pixels? Think again, buttercup. Hey there, fellow button mashers and digital adventurers. Ever feel like the price of your beloved hobby is creeping up faster than a stealthy ninja in your favorite RPG? Well, you're not alone. It seems the good old days of just slapping down some cash for a console and a few games are morphing into something, well, let's just say more complex is putting it mildly. Now, you've probably heard the whispers, the rumblings in the digital jungle. Our pals over in the good old US of A have been slapping tariffs on things, haven't they? You know, those lovely little taxes on imported goods that make everything just a tad more expensive? And guess what? Our beloved gaming gadgets aren't exactly immune to this economic hootenanny. Let's talk about the big N, shall we? Nintendo, the wizards behind that little hybrid console that stole our hearts and our commutes. The Switch. You've been hyped for the Nintendo Switch 2, right? The one that's supposed to be all shiny and new. Maybe even powerful enough to run games without sounding like a jet engine taking off? Yeah, well, hold your horses, my friend. Rumor has it, and the internet is practically screaming it from the digital rooftops, that pre-orders in the US have hit a snag. Why? Oh, just a little something called tariffs. Apparently, Nintendo is scratching their heads, trying to figure out how these lovely taxes are going to impact their bottom line. And guess who usually ends up feeling the pinch when companies try to protect their precious profits? That's right, you, the glorious gamer. The initial price tag of $449.99 for the base Switch 2 and an extra $79.99 for a digital Mario Kart World already had some of us reaching for our suspiciously empty piggy banks. But the possibility of further price hikes due to these tariffs? Suddenly, that shiny new console is looking less like a must-have and more like a maybe I'll just replay Breath of the Wild for the 10th time situation. Now be honest, did you do a little spit take when you saw that price? Were you thinking, wait, did they accidentally add an extra zero? Because I know I did. And the thought of it going even higher? My wallet just whimpered a little. Come on, spill the beans. What was your initial reaction to the rumored Switch 2 price? Did you think it was reasonable? Or did your eyebrows head for the stratosphere? Let me know in the comments below. But wait, there's more! It's not just the shiny new hardware that's trying to lighten our wallets. Our friends over at PlayStation are also getting in on the action. They've recently announced a price increase for PlayStation Plus subscriptions in several regions. Latin America, Australia, parts of Southeast Asia. They're all feeling the squeeze. Sony's reasoning? Global market conditions. Does that sound familiar? Could those pesky tariffs be playing a role there too? It wouldn't exactly be shocking, would it? So, you're shelling out potentially more for the console itself. And now the ongoing cost of playing online and getting those free monthly games is also going up. Suddenly, this whole fun and games thing feels a bit expensive. Like, maybe I should take up knitting instead expensive, and trust me, my knitting skills are atrocious. PlayStation Plus subscribers, how are you feeling about this price hike? Does it make you rethink your subscription? Are those free games suddenly feeling a lot less free? Let's hear your thoughts. Now, this is where things get a little spicy. When the legitimate avenues for gaming become increasingly costly, what do some gamers start to consider? Well, let's just say there's a shadowy underbelly to the gaming world, a place where consoles can be unlocked and games can be acquired through less than official channels. Yes, we're talking about jailbreaking. Historically, jailbreaking has allowed users to bypass the software restrictions put in place by console manufacturers. This can open the door to all sorts of things, including running homebrew applications and, yes, playing pirated games. Let's be crystal clear here. Jailbreaking voids your warranty. It can make your console vulnerable to security risks, and downloading pirated games? That's generally frowned upon by the folks who pour their hearts and souls, and a whole lot of money, into making the games we love. It hurts the developers, the publishers, and the entire ecosystem. But let's also be brutally honest with ourselves. When you're staring down the barrel of a potentially super expensive new console, and the cost of online play is creeping ever higher, does the temptation to explore cheaper alternatives flicker in the back of your mind? For some, especially those on tighter budgets, it might. It's a classic push and pull situation, isn't it? The more expensive legitimate gaming becomes, the more alluring the idea of free games might seem, despite the risks involved. It's a bit like being offered a delicious-looking cake for free in a dark alley versus paying a hefty price for a slightly less appealing one in a well-lit bakery. You know, the bakery cake is the right choice, but that free cake is awfully tempting when your stomach is rumbling. Let's have an honest but respectful discussion. Have you ever considered the idea of jailbreaking or using unauthorized methods to play games due to cost? What were your thoughts? What ultimately made you decide one way or the other? No judgment here, just curious to hear different perspectives. The big question is, are these tariffs and price hikes going to be the tipping point? Will we see a noticeable increase in the number of jailbroken consoles out there? Will the legitimate gaming market start to feel the impact of players seeking cheaper alternatives? It's a tricky situation for the gaming industry. They need to make money to keep creating those amazing worlds and experiences we crave, but they also need to ensure that their products remain accessible to a wide audience. Pricing people out of the hobby isn't exactly a recipe for long-term success, is it? Maybe we'll see some creative solutions. Perhaps more flexible subscription models? Maybe manufacturers will try to absorb some of those tariff costs to keep prices somewhat reasonable? Or maybe, just maybe, the allure of the legitimate ecosystem. The ease of use, the online communities, the knowledge that you're supporting the creators will be enough to keep most of us on the straight and narrow. What do you think is going to happen? Are we heading towards a future where only the wealthiest can afford to keep up with the latest consoles and games? Will jailbreaking become a more mainstream consideration for budget-conscious gamers? Or will the industry find a way to navigate these economic headwinds without alienating its player base? Okay, crystal ball time. What's your prediction for the future of gaming in light of these potential price increases and tariff troubles? Will we see a rise in jailbreaking? Will the industry adapt in surprising ways? What's your wildest, but still somewhat plausible theory? Let's hear it. One thing's for sure, the gaming landscape is shifting. It's no longer just about the games themselves, it's about economics, global trade, and the choices we as gamers are forced to make. So grab your popcorn, if you can still afford it, and let's watch this drama unfold together. And hey, maybe start practicing your knitting skills, just in case, you never know. Alright, you glorious bunch of gamers. We've just taken a deep dive into the wild world of rising costs, potential tariff troubles, and the big question of whether our wallets are about to stage a full-blown rebellion. It's a lot to chew on, right? If you found this little insightful discussion, engaging, thought-provoking, or even just mildly entertaining while you were supposed to be working, then do me a solid. If you enjoyed this peek behind the pixelated curtain and want to stay in the loop on all things gaming, the good, the bad, and the potentially wallet-emptying, then please hit that subscribe button down below. This is GameStation, your friendly neighborhood hub for all the gaming news, opinions, and maybe a little bit of healthy sarcasm to keep things interesting. We're always diving into the big questions, the juicy rumors, and the stuff that really matters to us as players. So, if you want more of this kind of chat, don't be a stranger. Click that subscribe button, maybe even ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the gaming verse. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you in the next video. Now, go forth and game, responsibly and affordably if possible.